Hello, welcome to the party. Hi, I've never met you before. I know. Just two guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time. Having a good time. Just two guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time.
And welcome back to Season 2 of Just Two Guys. We are starting off and kicking off our second season, John.
That's
and
right.
We're going to change things up a bit. It's going to be more of the same crap, but it will be a little different.
But we're actually going to try to plan some things this year.
Yes, yeah. So we're gonna cut down the Q&As. We're still going to have a little bit of that. We're going to do some other stuff.
Introduce
as well.
some skits.
Yeah,
some regular
little
type
skits.
skits.
They're just going to get really different this season, I think.
I hope this is the season where they say, well, that was their experimental phase.
We're jumping the shark today.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, do you want to start off?
Sure. Just thinking today about fall and how much I love fall and just kind of the weather is so nice and I like to do so many things. And I was wondering what kind of things what is it about fall that you like? Or
I like being outside. It's very comfortable weather. I like the chill in the air. I like you know, the ciders.
the hot buttered rum.
Yeah, I like a
fire.
nice fire going. I just like, you know, being out in the cold. It's not so cold that you get a little contrast with the warm food or warm drink and then the cold air. It's perfect.
It is nice.
It's just a good feeling, and TV comes back.
Yeah, that's true. That is another highlight.
That's another highlight of the fall. So that's kind of what I like.
All right, I like that.
Okay, you're in the middle of a forest at night, and it's in mid-October.
Okay.
See where we're going here. What would you fear most? You have a flashlight, water, and food, and you're miles away from a road. You have no idea where you are.
What would I fear most?
Yeah, what would be your biggest fear in that moment?
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm not afraid of anything. So that
Seriously, what would you be?
I guess just
Wolves, people, like
No, not wolves.
axe-wielding.
Probably I
Old
have
lady?
irrational fears, so I would probably fear that there was some crazed axe murder. I think that Friday the 13th movies hit me at such a young age that I really fear that. When I'm in the dark and I'm walking, I sort of start to speed up because I feel like there's always someone with a gleaming knife behind me.
I think that's everybody's fear.
But other than that, no, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'd just sleep in a tree or something.
Cool.
Yeah. If you could be a pirate, what would your pirate name be? And what would your signature characteristic be? Would you use a cliche like a peg leg and a parrot on your shoulder, or would you try to have something else?
It'd be Lucky Anderson.
Oh, that's a terrible pirate name.
I can't think of a pirate name.
That's more like a Viking name.
Yeah, I know.
With bad luck.
I think a pirate named Lucky would work. What was the second part?
And what would be your sort of identifying characteristic?
Identifying
Maybe
characteristic.
you just break out into show tunes randomly?
No, I'm like, I've got a big time receding hairline.
I like the picture of this pirate.
Lucky. He's not a very good pirate.
He's not at all.
He's kind of a sad pirate, really.
No.
So,
Okay, so do we want to segue now into one of our skits?
yeah, that's fine.
Well, just wait for 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I hope that was 5 seconds
Yes.
or so. So tonight we've decided to implement a new skit, and this is based on some of our reality. As many of you know, thanks to the SJR article that came out recently, or I forget what it was called, the Spotlight.
Yes.
Many of you know that Micah and I worked on network television in a previous career. The show we were on was pretty terrible, and it's blackballed us from Hollywood. And so we're slowly trying to break back into acting jobs. Unfortunately, our agent, Jorge De Jesus, put together this weird deal when we were coming up that we had to always star together, kind of like the Coreys in the 80s and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck at one time.
It's really bumming us out.
So it's hard enough to find a gig acting when you're alone, one person, but bringing along two people, there are so many things that they can target. So we are always on the lookout for key scenes from movies that we enjoy to try to show our range of emotion and our depth of character and some different things that we can do. So Tonight, we thought we would bring that to our audience and show you exactly what it's like when we go to an open audition and we have something prepared. So we have prepared tonight for you a reading from the Bourne Identity. Basically, this is from an early script. This isn't from the finished script.
Yeah.
And the screenwriters, I think, at this point, were trying to strive for a different sort of realism, something that, so much of this movie is based in these high-speed chases, and they were trying to bring this down to your average couch potato.
Yeah.
To bring something different to the movie so that they could understand maybe what was going on better. And playing the role of Marie will be me, and you'll be playing the role of Jason Bourne. So
I do like playing Matt Damon.
when we just get ready here.
All right, let's get. This is going to be intense here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
He's dead, isn't he?
Marie, look at me. There's no time for this.
He went out the window. Why? Why would someone do that?
We can't stay here. I can't stay here. It's not safe here.
He came to kill us.
We can go. I can get us out of here, but we need to go now.
Hold on.
Huh? Oh, all right.
You knew he was coming.
No!
I trusted you.
You're wrong. I didn't know.
I don't trust anybody, and I trusted you.
I didn't know this would happen.
He had my picture. He knew I was here. He came to kill us.
And where is he now? You believe what you want, but I'm telling the truth. I never would have brought you here if I thought it was dangerous.
Oh, Jesus.
What is that smell? Did you let one?
One what?
A stinker?
No, I did not let one. It's probably my socks or something.
Well, it's disgusting. I've never smelled anything so... You stay. If you want, you stay. It's okay. It's better. Maybe it's better. I don't know. But I can't stay. I can't.
But the police.
There's no time.
We'll explain it.
How?
There's two of us. We'll tell them. We'll just...
Forget it.
We'll tell them what happened.
I don't know what happened. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he wants. I don't even know what I am or who I am. The only thing I know is that if I stay here, I'm going to find out. And God, what the hell is that smell? It's driving me crazy. And scene.
And so that's how
I think that should get us apart.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, so that's an example of the direction of this new season. We're going to do some readings. We're going to do some fancy, interesting...
It probably explains, too, why we haven't had another role since Misdemeanor aired.
I thought that was great.
We'll see if we get any calls.
All right. Well, we can move on to our next segment then. Here's another segment we want to do for our new season on Just Two Guys. It's called I Am the King Of. And it's kind of a mix between a very masculine competition and Martha Stewart. So we use food, but we compete like men.
Yeah.
So this time around, we're going to see if we can't build carrot houses with peanut butter as the mortar. So I guess we'll go ahead and on the count of 3, we'll go ahead and get started, and whoever wins is the king of this.
Yeah, it would be
All
me.
right. Whatever. 3, 2, 1, build. here we are. Here are the two houses. I think I'm a winner.
Well, let's let them decide.
Folks, what do we think? Can we zoom in on the houses and make a decision?
Look at how mine is caving in on this one side.
See,
Mine's
that's bad
structurally-
structure.
It's structurally unsound.
Bad structure. Now mine. Okay, I see I've got a nice little tree here, some bushes up front. It's structurally sound. This thing won't move. See, I can rattle it, survive an earthquake.
I hate to lose.
I hate you to lose. Oh, this has become quite a mess. All right. Well, I think we're going to go on to our interview here with Nick Rogers of the SJR, and I hope you enjoyed this fun little segment. And here we are with our wonderful guest, Nick Rogers, from the Journal Register, and he is the editor of the A&E section, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And we just want to start off, Nick, with a little background on who you are, and then we're going to get into some really good movie entertainment business stuff, and then at the end we're going to throw a little twist at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us
good.
who you are, where you come from, how you got here, and then let us know when you're done.
Well, I grew up in a small town in Illinois. It's about 3.5 hours northwest of here. Lanark is the name of the town.
Okay.
Probably about a half hour from a decent movie theater, in that the ceiling fan wouldn't fall on your head and decapitate
Nice.
you. The fear of that, anyway. And just always been interested in movies ever since I was a little kid. The first R-rated movie I ever saw was Stick with Burt Reynolds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So maybe that's that one movie's claim to fame. I don't know. But my parents always fostered an interest in the arts, and I had 3 older brothers, and they listened to different types of music, varying from terrible to awesome, and I just picked it up and couple that with an interest in writing and an interest in journalism, and throughout high school and college, and this was my first job after graduating from college. I graduated in 2001, came here in 2002.
From University of Illinois?
Correct.
Wow, it seems like you were just a natural. Like you just knew all along you wanted to be involved with.
Well, I knew that it was always something that I wanted to have in my life. I didn't know necessarily when I started writing that, it's like I'm going to do arts and entertainment writing. As I started in sports, which is a really great place to start if you want to do journalism, because you have to, you know what you have to say. So-and-so won,
Right.
This is how they won, and then work back from there. But no, I mean, just, from watching movies all the time when I was a kid, and, I was listening to The Cure when I was in 3rd grade because my brothers had it. So I knew that I was always going to have, arts and
Yeah.
entertainment in my life somehow.
So you were a depressed elementary schooler.
Well, I didn't listen to I was very much superficial Cure, like hot, just like having type stuff. I didn't really get into the deep stuff till later on.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
So,
that's all right.
So
I
you
didn't.
could've-
I didn't wear black or throw my hair
Got your
back.
hair
and-
all up.
Yeah. it was-
That's good. That's good.
Look depressed all the time.
No.
Oh.
So I was in graduate school with a girl who did some, she worked for the Richmond Times-Dispatch, and
Okay.
she was always talking about cool assignments that she got to have. And so I always envy the jobs that you have. I know you just went to the Simpsons screening before it actually premiered. What would you identify as some of your cooler moments? As a
Well, within the first 2 weeks of my starting here, I got to interview Bruce Campbell on the phone, which was
that is awesome.
I mean, that was just like being handed the coolest assignment ever within the first 2 weeks, and from there I don't just off the top of my head I can't think of anything that was just cooler than that, because I loved watching the Evil Dead movies.
Oh yeah.
Believe it or not, I saw the first one with my parents, which was
Whoa.
amusing.
Cool parents.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't like it. It wasn't their choice. But no, talking to him, because he was here for the Route 66 Film Festival
Right.
the first year
yeah.
that they did it. And it was when they had it out at the drive-in, and they had, I think Robert Forster was here too that year.
Yeah.
But no, it was great too, because he was totally upfront about some of the terrible movies that he's made, because that Serving Sarah movie with Matthew Perry and Elizabeth Hurley was out at the time.
Ew.
And, he asked me if I'd seen it, and I said, yeah. And he says, what'd you think? I said, it was terrible. And he knew it was terrible, but he was just talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's been cool. It was cool to see the Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was great per se, but it was, it was just cool to, finally get to see it and see what
Now
it's.
that's where that's okay. So you get into these critiques of these movies, and you're like one of the first people to see it, relatively.
Yeah.
One of the first people to see it, and I've noticed it got rave reviews, and then I read you, and then I thought.
The wet
wow,
blanket.
I'm gonna have to put a question mark on this film.
Well, I think, I don't know, I can't reason why it was that you felt that way, but I just feel like the whole thing became a dud for us locally when the way the contest went down was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, and then our video wasn't very good
it was
either.
horrible.
I mean,
That
it was
was-
just to be. I mean, you put it a lot more bluntly than I did just now, but yeah, it wasn't good.
Well,
and-
no, they made too many mistakes, and they didn't really know the audience.
Right.
I don't know that they knew the
Simpsons
show
audience.
very well, really.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
it seemed like somebody who hadn't really watched it since 1993 and then
Yeah.
caught a few episodes
Right.
before doing it.
Right.
But back to like other cool, I mean, I got to talk to Weird Al Yankovic, and I grew up listening to
Nice.
him as most people,
Wow.
our age have done, and so that was really great, and just. All of the local arts organizations were very welcoming to me, and there are a lot of interesting people with interesting stories in those organizations as well.
Definitely.
Well, that's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So so you've had to get to know not only you do the national scene, the movies and everything, and we'll get back to some of the more current movies, but you also had to be introduced to like the local theater, like the Muni.
Right.
How does that? I mean, how did that come about? Did you get to know the people?
The first week that I was here, the first cover story that I did, I'm pretty sure this was the first cover story, was for their final production of the 2002 season, which was South Pacific. And I went out there, and I'd never been out there. I'm driving out there, and I'm thinking, where is this place? Did I certainly have gone too far? Well, then I saw the huge sign, and I get out there, and everyone was very welcoming. I mean, they knew that I had never been there, never heard of this place, and so on and so forth, and that attitude and that openness has really kept up in the time that I've been here, and just a lot of really talented local performers and local crew too. I mean, there's a lot of really great lighting designers and sound designers that are in town here.
Do you find it difficult to give a real critical review to people that you're closer to? I mean, it's easier to be critical of a film on a national level. Is it harder to do it?
Well, the one thing that I keep in mind with that is that if I'm reviewing a movie, I mean, these are people whose profession it is to make movies.
Right.
They've been paid to
yeah.
do what that piece of entertainment
Plus,
is.
it feels good sometimes.
Well, yeah, I
to
mean,
hurt 'em.
yeah, that's true. That's very
Take
true.
that, J-Lo.
But at the local level, I mean, these are people who are, they're amateur performers.
Mm-hmm.
They might be exceptionally good amateur performers, but
Yeah.
they're still amateurs. So, you're not going to get a Broadway caliber show.
Right.
You're not going to get even necessarily a Chicago caliber show. So you have to measure it against those factors.
Right.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that
So,
really
I
is.
mean-
Because I think a lot of people wonder how you do that,
Sure.
how to balance that and figure out, how
Right.
good it really is.
And maybe the difference is that knowing that it is local and knowing that these are people who are going to be doing different productions in the future, the criticism might be a little more constructive because I mean they're not going to redo a movie. Well, I mean I guess not unless it's like 20 years down the road.
Right.
But they're not going to redo the movie and and tweak it
Right.
2
Right.
months later with something different.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what your favorite movie of this year was.
This year so far, the Bourne Ultimatum, actually. I just
Interesting.
and it's really interesting because the first movie I didn't like it at all, and my fiance pretty much like dragged me to see the second one because I hated the first one.
Yeah.
And I love the second one.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
the style of it and making you feel like you're right there, running with him and in
Yeah.
the car and I just the story across the second one and the third one is just so
Yeah.
charged with so many things and so many elements that
Yeah, we just saw the third one last weekend, and I felt the same way. It was amazing. I'd read your review of it with all the cuts, the way the cuts were done, and it was really amazing.
And I've read about people having to leave to throw up, and so that's
Really?
why. I mean, that's why I was glad I sat in the middle of the theater when I saw it, because I've sat in the front row for Twister before, and that was not a good idea. So.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Are there any movies that are out there that are going to be coming out like this fall that will be good Oscar contenders that you're looking forward to, or maybe a big movie next summer?
Sure. Well, Oscar season sort of unofficially starts in November generally, and the prevailing thought has been the sooner a movie comes out, the more likely it is to get Oscar nominations because it's fresher in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
One I'm looking forward to is called American Gangster. It's got Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe.
I saw the preview for that.
And Ridley Scott directed it. And I mean, with those two actors and Ridley Scott, it's got to be good.
That's
I mean,
just a good combination.
And it looked like it kind of turned some things on its head a little bit.
And that looks really interesting.
Yeah.
The Coen brothers have a new movie coming out called No Country for Old Men.
Oh, yeah.
Which is based on, I believe, a Cormac McCarthy. I don't know if it's a story or a novel, but Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, and Javier Bardem are in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've read about that. That looks really good.
That's been getting raves. It's playing at festivals right now.
Okay. Wow.
And let's see, what else? There's something else that's coming out in December that I was looking forward to. Sweeney Todd is coming out.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
that will be good.
And Tim Burton's doing that with Johnny Depp. And,
it's going to be
always
weird,
a good
I think.
combo.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Edward Scissorhands was on TV the other day, and it's just it pulled me in. And it's amazing how young Johnny Depp looks in that. I mean, it was 17 years ago, but he looks like he's about 15 years old.
He does. He looks really.
Burton and Depp, that combo always works for me. Even if it's not a great film, it always.
So those three movies, I mean, the Coen brothers, even if I don't like the movie, I mean, there's always parts about it that I appreciate.
It's at least it gets you thinking a little bit higher than you might.
Yeah, I always find that watching a Coen Brothers movie, you got to come back the second time.
Right.
To catch those things that you didn't catch. That's what Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That's where I had to come on back and see it, and then I'm like, oh, this is a really great film.
And like The Lady Killers, I know a lot of people didn't like that movie, but I thought that movie was
great
hysterical.
Yeah, it was.
I loved
it. A cool movie, and it was a real sleeper. Nobody really talked about it when it came out.
And of course, the best movie made of all time, Big Lebowski.
Of course.
Of course.
That's okay, in my opinion.
And the inspiration for my Halloween costume last year.
Really?
I got two friends of mine. One of them was the dude. One was Donnie. I was Walter.
That's hilarious.
That's the best.
That is the best.
That's the best.
You're winning us over.
I snagged. I couldn't find like an actual like combat vest, so I just snagged a photo vest from the JR.
I was gonna say that's the best way to do it. That's
yeah.
the best way to do it, dude.
That's cool.
So, are there any like good next summer like good popcorn flicks? And you've been talking about this, and I'm like a favorite of this is the G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that's well. The interesting thing right now with movies is that there's a strike looming, and I can't remember. I think it might be the Writers Guild. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to check on that. But one of the guilds has a strike pending, and so there's a lot of movies that are kind of being hurried into production in case there is this strike. G.I. Joe is kind of one that's on the fence with whether they're going to get that off the ground or not. But
they'll have to.
As far as things for next summer, there's an Indiana Jones movie, which is now called Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I was kind of like, okay.
Ouch.
I like to call it Quest for the Senior Meal Discount. But it'll be at that point 19 years since the last Indiana Jones movie. But I'm still curious to see it because I grew up watching those. And so there's that, and then I'm trying to think. There's some other.
There's probably Batman. And,
there's another Batman movie that just got done filming in Chicago, which I'm looking forward to.
Okay, before we run out of time, I'm going to give you a movie synopsis.
All right.
Give us a title.
Okay.
And maybe an end.
Okay, Denzel Washington, James Gandolfini, and Paul Newman star in this much-anticipated drama about race relations, sexual identity, and class consciousness. Professor Cam Gillespie, played by Denzel, who was raised by a foster family, is desperate to learn about his father and the family he has never known. In a journey of hope and heartbreak, Gillespie and his boyfriend, Johnny Crocker, James Gandolfini, who is also a janitor at Gillespie's university, set out to contact the only man alive who knows his father's identity, Harold Hanley, an elderly bigot on death row, who's played by Paul Newman.
Wow.
What would the title of that film be?
Crashing into Philadelphia.
Nice. Very nice.
All right, I got one
Title
for you.
subject to change. I'm
That's
sure.
right.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right. Working title. Okay, all right, here's one. This is a little shorter.
Okay.
This is a movie starring Eric Roberts, Bette Midler, and Nicolas Cage.
There's money for this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Takes place, ironically, in the Quad Cities, so it's near Illinois.
All right.
Eric Roberts plays a riverboat casino owner. Bette Midler plays an entertainer / blackjack dealer. And Nicolas Cage plays gun-wielding meth head who happens to be an ex-SWAT member. The boat leaves shore and there begins a string of murders. How does this end and what is the title? I love this Eric Roberts film.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Bette Midler is the killer because she is pure evil incarnate.
I love it.
And the title would be, let's see, you said blackjack dealer?
Uh-huh.
Double Down would be probably a good, catchy,
Straight to video
punchy,
in the
yeah,
D
love it.
section. There'd be 2 available copies.
or Hit Me, since there's
Ooh,
murders.
I love it.
Working titles.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time
That's all
for.
we have time for, Nick.
All right.
But
That was
thank you
fast.
so much for coming on, and
Thank you for
hopefully we'll
having
have
me.
you on again sometime. And
I would
talk
love
about,
to. We could talk for another
Yeah,
hour.
we could talk forever. So,
I
thanks,
love it.
Nick, for being on here, and thanks for tuning in to Just Two Guys.
Hello, welcome to the party. Hi, I've never met you before. I know. Just 2 guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time. Having a good time. Just 2 guys and we're having a good time. Having a good time.